eating the same amount, but I wasn't burning the calories. Like you said, like I wasn't burning the calories, but I would eat the same. So I obviously gained weight, and yeah, I just took in more than I burned out, and then it was just a very sensitive age, like when you're a teenager and like starting like boys and like sexuality and like everything is like changing and everything is awkward, and I had I had acne, so it was like my
Oh, me
self-esteem,
too.
yeah, my self-esteem was really low, and I felt like,
I used to worry about that when I put my fingers down my throat, like that it would make me have zits here, which it did.
yeah, I don't know, it was just a lot. It was a tough time, and then when I moved to New York, I started like, this is
And
how
that
I,
was when you were 20, you moved to New York?
yeah. So I also gained weight in the military, but that's like a thing in Israel. Like when you join the military, you just like gain weight a lot. Uh,
I can't believe you joined the military. I mean, I was just going to ask you that, but I was figuring if you came when you're 20, maybe you left right before you had to do it.
no, I left right after. So I did serve the military, and like right
That's
after,
badass.
it's just
And how was the experience? I shouldn't say that.
thank you. I mean, thanks for the compliment. Like I always
I
like.
don't even know. Maybe it's not a compliment.
I mean, badass is a compliment.
No, I mean, but I don't know how they, I mean, one of my old therapists, Rachel Putter, she's Israeli, and she did 2 years, like she did an extra year in the Israeli military. She's a beautiful woman. I hope you can meet her someday. But I think it was hard and awesome. But no, I just think it's amazing service, and I can't even imagine what was. We should do a show just on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll just say shortly, like it's mandatory. I did it, and I was very happy to do it. I wanted to do
It
something.
wasn't hard.
It was like it was hard, but like I mean, it was like annoyed that I have to like just
It was right after high
just
school.
for 2 years. I had to be told what to do, like against my nature. Like I couldn't dress the way I wanted. I couldn't express myself. I couldn't like study what I wanted. Like I just finished high school. A part of me was annoyed, but I was also really proud because I love Israel. I love my
And
country.
everyone does it, right?
Everyone's
Like,
like normal. And I met like my best friend in the military. Like you meet people from all over the place. And like I did have a great time. I just met cool people, and yeah, but like,
but you did it, and you're happy you did it, and nothing
yeah,
horrible happened,
totally.
right? It wasn't
Eventually,
terrible.
yeah, for sure.
You didn't have to go to the front line.
No, no.
But did that when you went there? Because when life circumstances change, I notice like whenever I like have a boyfriend or be living with someone, like my eating stuff wasn't as private. I couldn't keep it private. I know you're with your parents, but did you notice that environment
I
changed?
I would
Like you,
totally. I threw up so much in the military.
you
Like
didn't share a bathroom with people. You had your own bathroom.
I no, I had bathroom with people. I just did it. Like I learned how to do it kind of like
You
silent.
didn't care.
No, like
Oh, I wanted to ask you if any of your friends knew or they were doing it.
yeah, my friend knew. Like I was just talking to my friend, like my friend who I met in the military. We sat. She reminded me of that today. We sat in a restaurant called Max Brenner. It's a chocolate restaurant, and we obviously like order all these like chocolate pizzas and chocolate stuff and like cakes and like blah blah, all the like delicious chocolate. And I'm eating, and I'm
I
eating
just
it
have
all.
a vision of like you guys, but like in that movie, the Willy Wonka movie, which is all this
Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah. So I'm eating it, and then I told her like, Katie, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom to throw up, like I gotta do it. And she was like trying to convince me not to do it, and she was like talking me out of it, and she's trying to like, yeah, like she totally knew. I don't know. I don't remember if I ended up going to throw up or not, but I didn't really keep it a secret. Yeah.
I did sometimes. Like my dad, one time in high school, he's like, 'cause there was like he would clean like the toilet or whatever, and there was like food or whatever disgusting in my toilet, and he's like, Ashley, do you not like these new rice cakes?
I love rice.
Like you didn't understand.
Rice cakes are so good. They was like my favorite treat in New York.
Yeah, but rice cakes and apples were like my jam. Like I would have rice cakes and apples.
Yeah.
But you're like your friend.
Or you talking about rice cakes, like not like the sweet thing, but like the marshmallow
what?
Sorry, I'm talking about something else. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. Sorry is silly.
You're right.
What was I gonna say? I remember though these girls I knew in Miami that had eating disorders, and they were like, I don't know. There were a couple girls that I met, I guess, but they lived together, and I would go hang out with them, and they would like take turns in the bathroom. Like, it was just kind of a weird vibe for me. I was like, that's a little private.
Too much. That's a little too much.
I never did it like that. Like, I mean, a couple times, like, I think my friends heard me. And like one time I went to literally I was on a road trip with my father, and we were at a restaurant, and I like went to like Fridays, and I went in the bathroom on Fridays, and I don't know how the fuck he knew or what, but he like asked me, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, did you just throw up your lunch? I hope you didn't throw up your lunch. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. So it was the kind of thing where it's like, I didn't like lying to my dad. I think he kind of knew, but it was like, I don't want to hurt you. And like we had a relationship that was like, hard to explain, but it was like, I was like, no, it's fine. Like he felt like he had to ask. I think a woman was in there. This was the feeling I got. I'm usually right about that. And heard me, and then they went out and said something to him.
Yeah, probably.
Remember that.
Yeah.
But it's weird because, I think in Israel and in the US, I guess we're in 1981. I know you're a little younger than me, but
yeah.
Even before that,
I was born in 85.
Such a press on being skinny and the media and supermodels and all this stuff. But I remember like different reactions from girls. Like this one girl I knew in high school, actually, I'm not gonna say her name. She used to overeat all the time, but never throw up. She would just purge.
Yeah.
And like, she would tell me about it, Tom, and I didn't do it like this. I would just eat and go to sleep, She would just eat so much, like the way that probably we did, and then throw up.
Yeah.
And then like just sit with the pain.
Yeah. Everyone deals with stuff differently.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, everyone deals with it different. I totally ate my emotions, for sure.
I think all of that and all those stories, like, hopefully, and this is a point where I want to like interject and speak to the audience or whoever's watching, that hopefully, I think with us connecting this way, and that's like one of the things I talk about in the eating disorder groups, it's like us just talking about the fact that we had this experience has a magical healing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it wasn't just me, I'm not alone.
Exactly.
So I hope that this, like what we've discussed up until now, has helped one person.
At least one.
At least one, hopefully more, know that they're not alone and that other people have done things like throw up in Fridays. One time in a church, like where the books went for the eating disorder meetings. That was dark. Like in the back, it was horrible. But
well, I'm sure you were not the only one. That's like.
I think everyone has different stories. I mean, at some of these meetings, I would hear stories. This one girl, she was on a cross-country trip with her dogs, and she would pull over on the side of the road and puke, and then like keep going. It's like, like that's so. I think that stuff is not pretty to visualize, but it's real and it happened. And I know for myself, I carried shame about it. And it feels really good today to not have shame
Yeah.
about anything, but especially about behavior. You know, it felt, I don't know about you, it felt like a dark secret that I had. And I didn't know how I was going to resolve it. Oh, but let's finish how when you got to New York after the military. So you kept it through the military and threw up a lot.
Yeah. I also want to say, first of all, I need to bring the battery for my computer because my computer is about to die. So I'm going to pause the recording.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
We're back after our party break and charger. So, yeah, I was starting to talk about when I moved to New York after the military.
You're 20.
What?
And you were 20.
I was 20, yeah. I was 20 years old. I moved to New York and, wanting, going there to, be a singer, be a musician, take over the world. And
when did you start singing? When you were very young?
Well, I was always, interested in music and singing, but I wasn't, always...
Did you worry about your throat when you did the stuff ever?
Which stuff?
The bulimic stuff.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about my throat. Yeah, because it hurts. It hurts it's as a singer. I wasn't a singer. I was a swimmer. Swimming was my thing. I was really always thought that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life and I'm going to compete. But I'm not really such a competitive person. I don't know. Anyways, so moving to New York, I definitely had the pressure to be skinny, and I was.
New York is one of those cities, right?
Yeah, a lot of body image, a lot of pretty skinny girls, but there was a few things that contributing to my healing process, and I haven't threw up in almost 10 years. I can really confidently say that it's out.
Isn't that amazing that amount of time has elapsed?
I know, and I was struggling with it. I got to a point that I don't want to throw up anymore, but I couldn't. It was it was stronger than me. And there was the military.
You ever throw up multiple times a day?
Yeah, some days. I had, it was phases. I had better days and I had maybe I would have a week that I didn't throw up, and then again, I fell off the wagon and ate chocolates. So I threw up.
And it was hard for me to get even 2 or 3 days together.
Yeah, I had phases. I had some days, a few days, 5 days that I would throw up almost everything. And then I was okay, this is too much. I better slow down. And I would just eat healthy. If I eat salads and stuff, it was fine. Even I wanted to be healthy. I was kind of health conscious. So I was okay, I can eat salad. I can eat rice. I can eat things. But if I purged on cakes and
It's so funny. I had specific foods too. I could eat as many apples as I wanted.
Yeah, apples.
If I ate a bowl of cereal, fuck that.
Yeah, oranges. I remember one time we finished lunch. I was full, but I still wanted.
In New York?
No, it was in Israel in high school, and I still wanted something. It was my hunger was a bottomless pit.
It was not for food, right?
It was not. I was nothing could fill that void. I don't know what it was, and I remember just after lunch, I'm supposed to be full, but I'm still hungry. So I just took 10 oranges, and I'm just gonna eat these 10 oranges, and that would satisfy me. And I just went with these 10 oranges, and I read a book, and eventually I was full. Because sometimes it takes time, because when you eat too fast, you don't feel full, and
it takes 20 minutes for your colon to send the message to the brain that your stomach is full.
Yeah, exactly. So I would start learning stuff about the body, about health, okay, after I eat, if I'm still hungry, just wait 10 minutes, drink water, drink tea, let time pass, and see if you're still hungry. So that like just starting like being coming back to my body, listening to my body, and like I started getting colonics in New York, and that really helped me lose weight as well. And I know colonics can be tricky. We talked about it before. Colonics can be tricky because some people, and even me at some point, like would use colonic, like, oh, I can eat whatever I want, and then I get colonic. It's like the same mindset of like.
It's a laxative kind of concept, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think of it as different, but yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Different because like
it's getting all this, it's so healthy.
Yeah, it taught me just to like come back to my body. And like after a colonic, I crave juice. Like I crave, honestly, like I crave healthy stuff.
Yes, because you're back to balance with the candida out.
Yeah, you know, candida, like a lot of people don't know it. And I was like, my brother still laugh at me because I remember I was telling like a friend of ours, like, you know, like you could have candida if you always crave sugar. And she's like, thank you. You see, it's not me, it's the candida. And they were like making fun of the joke, like they can always blame the parasite. It's like not her. But it's true, like candida is a real thing, and a lot of people have this parasite in their body that makes them crave sugar. And it's actually
mostly found in comes from dairy, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I feel like animal byproduct for sure. Like it's not gonna come from lettuce. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I feel like candida comes. I don't know where it comes from actually. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that I don't know. But I think I had it. But after the colonics, I was craving healthier things, and I started getting colonics. So that helps me lose weight, and it's kind of encouraged me to just make better choices. And I started like working out. I attracted people to my life that taught me about diet, about food. I started reading about it. I just started like being like into yoga, which like also brought me to my body and was like really helpful.
Well, that's the present moment awareness stuff, which I think is so critical to eating disorder recovery, any kind, all healing, is because the more you stay in the present moment, the more you stay in the present moment, and you're not making decisions like just willy-nilly, you know?
Yeah. And also like understanding about eating disorder and about emotional eating and understanding that it's a thing. And before this talk of us, I went online and I learned that.
Oh yeah, you're researching.
Yeah, I did just like a little like mini research, and I found that today like there's over 30 million Americans that are dealing with eating disorders, and 400,000 Israelis, which in Israel it's 5%. Israel is a lot smaller than the US.
Yeah, so if you do it like per like capita,
yeah,
like, is it about the same?
No, percentage wise is like Israel is like 5% of Israelis are dealing with eating disorders, and 8% of Americans. So there is like quite a lot more in America, but
America is quite
which makes sense, you know, because there is a lot more like celebrity obsession in America. And
there's a lot more pressure, like the whole, we were talking about culture before, like how with time, you know, the Middle East is different with like being on time and stuff.
Being on time.
Here it's like you have to be so skinny and you have to be on time and you have to da 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 da.
Yeah, I mean there's still pressure. I experience pressure. Like there is still a lot of people that are that are having eating disorders in Israel. It's similar culture, but I don't know. So I also use mantra. Like I met this girl and she told me, I told her I was like open for help. I was like, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. How are you so skinny? Hey, I'm like, my friend who told me about colonic is like, I asked her, like, how are you so skinny? Like, I want to lose weight. Can you help me? Like, I was really open to it. And she didn't want to tell me about colonics at first, but then she told me. And then this other girl told me about her mantra, and I really liked it. It's I'm thin, I'm healthy, I'm fit, I'm loving, I'm forgiving. And it really spoke to me because it was not like being like unhealthy skinny. It was about being healthy, being fit, being thin, and then being loving and forgiving to like myself and everyone else. And I would
I
just
got the
walk,
chills.
yeah, and like I would just walk in the streets of New York and just like saying this mantra, like I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm thin.
It's very important.
Like,
I don't know if you saw the movie What the Bleep Do We Know?
yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Like your brain is so powerful, you can gain 2 pounds by looking at a donut and like, you know?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. That movie really spoke to me. Like,
When
why?
a woman's looking in the mirror and telling herself that she's fat, what?
I'm just telling, like, whoever is watching it, watch What the Bleep Do We Know.
What the bleep do we know? It's imperative. It's so important.
So good. So, yeah, and I was, like manifesting. And then I worked with this coach, and he did this, like, yeah, this, like, fine tuning. And he asked me, like, which area of my life I want to focus on. And I was like, my weight. And we created another mantra together. And it was like 5 lines about like every day I'm creating the body that reflects health and beauty and just something like we worked on it for a while until we found the right phrasing exactly. And I still have it somewhere. I can bring it next time.
That's awesome.
It was by my bed for 6 months, and every day for 6 months, that was the first thing I read, and I was like taking it in the morning, and last thing that I read and I took in before I went to bed, and then in the morning the same. And I was just like really like, yeah, I was just really taking it in and like rewiring my beliefs about myself and about like my body. And I started just like craving, like I think that's healed like my emotional eating. And then the other thing that happened is like I went to,
really quick before that, because I think that's important. How would you tell the people how to do that? Or like what, like how could you share that little tool?
So like I worked with a coach, but I believe everyone can do it to themselves as well. And this is really empowering to me to realize that, because I can do it to other areas of my life. And I think the way is you just sit with a friend or sit by yourself and just come up with the version of yourself that you want to manifest in that area, whether it's like relationships, finance, like weight, spirituality,
and feeling. What would that feel like?
Yes, step into that version of you in that area by like what are you creating? What are you working toward? And I was working toward like loving myself and accepting myself and my body and just being like the healthy expression of myself, like not too skinny, not too fat, just enough, and like not eating more than I need.
But that commitment to that mantra and to that positive affirmation was a huge game changer.
So helpful. Like positive affirmation helps. Like you need to also find out the limiting belief and then switch it with an empowering one.
And also find out the beliefs that, all the agreements that we've agreed to that we don't even realize that aren't even true.
From the 4 agreements, the 4 agreements.
I had a very similar experience that shifted a lot for me, and it was with a sponsor that I'm